Hi everyone, welcome back to class. Thank you so much for joining. This is going to be a beginner level full body class. We are going to be using a small Pilates ball throughout, so make sure you do have one with you. All right, we're going to get started. Come over to the left side of your mat and you're going to take a big step out with that right leg, coming into a side lunge. I want you to pause here for a moment and make sure all 10 toes are tracking forward and that your right knee is tracking over the second and third toe, but not coming past your toes. I want you to find a nice open chest, a long flat back. I want you to sit your tailbone back into space, get a little bit deeper into your lunge, and find a neutral spine. Feel your core engaging here, draw your belly back towards your spine, and then reach your arms down in front of you, reaching that ball towards the mat, and find just an ever so slight squeeze on that ball, and feel how that engages through your chest and your arms. Okay, from here, you're gonna root down through your left standing leg. You're gonna come to standing, and you're gonna tap your right toes in to meet your left, bringing that ball in towards heart center, giving it a little squeeze, and again, feeling that chest and arm engagement. From here, you're gonna step back with your right leg, finding a double lunge. Both knees come to 90-degree bend, so that back knee is hovering over the mat. You're gonna reach your arms forward and give that ball just a little squeeze, again, feeling that chest engagement. And then from here, you're gonna come back into heart center again, bringing those toes to meet your left, bringing that ball to heart center and squeezing onto it. So you'll notice that we always come back through center as we switch between our side lunge and our short lunge. And we're gonna find a little squeeze on that ball to engage through our chest and our arms. All right, moving a little bit faster, we're gonna come out into that side lunge, reaching the ball down towards the mat. We're gonna come back through center, squeezing that ball. We're gonna find our short lunge, reaching our arms forward. We're gonna come back to center, squeezing that ball. And just like that, continuing on here. And I love this as a warm-up because it really is a full body warm-up. We're getting our heart rate up. We're finding length, but we're also finding strength in our legs. We're using our core to stabilize us here, to help us find balance. We're engaging through our chest and our arms with a squeeze on that ball. Just really challenging you to use your whole body here to be really alert, really engaged. And I want you to make this movement really precise. So really think about stepping to the same place on your mat every time you come into your side lunge and your short lunge. Breathing through it. Let's do 3 more rounds here. And here's 2. Can you sit deeper into your lunge? Can you squeeze a little bit more onto that ball? And here's our last one. Reaching forward and then come together. Whew. Okay, we're gonna get straight to the other side. So go ahead and step towards the right side of your mat now. And again, take a big step out with your left leg this time. Again, all 10 toes tracking forward, reaching that ball down. Open through your chest. Give that ball a little squeeze. You're gonna root down through your right foot this time, coming up to stand, tapping those toes in, squeezing the ball. You're gonna step it back with your left leg into your lunge, reach those arms forward, squeeze that ball, coming back through center and squeeze that ball. Continuing on like that, maybe picking up the pace just a little bit. Breathing through it, finding your balance. Nice job. And see if you can sit low into that lunge and really be mindful with how you're stacking your alignment. So knee over that ankle, shoulders over your hips. Continue to engage through your core. Keep that belly nice and tight. Keep the rib cage closed. Nice. Maybe squeezing that ball a little bit more. Let's do 3 more rounds here. Coming down, together, back, together. 2 more rounds. And together, back, together. Finding your balance. Last one here. Back and together and squeeze that ball. All right. We're all warmed up now. You can place the ball off to the side for a second and we're gonna use it a little bit later. You're gonna come down onto your mat now, finding a tabletop. So I want you to find shoulders stack over your wrists, hips stack over your knees, and then from here, I want you to actually step your knees back just a few inches behind your hips. So they're no longer right underneath them. They're slightly behind your hips. And I want you to keep the shoulders stacked over your wrists. I want you to puff out the space between your shoulder blades, finding nice strong shoulders here. It's almost like you're trying not to dump too much weight into those wrists. You're trying to lift up through your shoulders, using your shoulder strength and your core to support you here. Draw your belly button back towards your spine, find a nice strong core, and from here, we're gonna drop it down into a forearm plank, a modified forearm plank. So we're coming down onto our forearms. Our forearms are parallel to one another, and here, your shoulders now stack over your elbows. You're gonna exhale as you lift yourself back up into that modified plank. So we're just coming into modified plank to modified forearm plank, and moving our legs back slightly behind our hips helps us just find more space here and more length in our upper body. And I want you to continue on here, moving nice and slow while I talk through a few things. So the reason why I've chosen to have us modify here is because I really want us to focus on building up that shoulder strength and shoulder mobility, and to really feel what it's like to find good form in your upper body. Oftentimes when we come into our full plank before we're ready, we find that our shoulders aren't strong enough to support us, that we're not really using our core in the right way to help support the high plank. So I hope that you're able to feel this a lot in the shoulders and feel how it feels to find that right alignment and to use your core here as an asset. Okay, let's do 5 more. And this is just helping us work up into that full plank someday. And we'll get to that in just a little bit. Let's do 3 more. Exhaling as you lift. Keep your gaze forward, and 2. And this is so effective. I'm already feeling it in my triceps and in my shoulders. Here's our last one. Hold it here, and then step your knees in so that you're in a tabletop. So now your hips stack over those knees. Okay, we're ready to get into a full plank now. You're gonna step your right leg back and then your left, holding it just for 1 second. And make sure that your shoulders stack over your wrists, that you have a gentle bend in your elbows to protect your joints. You wanna keep your gaze forward, draw a belly button back towards your spine, finding a nice strong core, and then really stay high on the ball mounds of your feet, engage through your quads. Feel your quads working here. You're gonna step it back down with your right knee and then your left knee, coming back through tabletop. And repeat, starting on the left side. Left leg back, right leg back. Left knee down, right knee down. So we're moving from high plank to tabletop, and this is giving us a chance to find that full plank, flushing out through tabletop. So we're not overworking our shoulders and our wrists. We're giving ourselves a little break in between. We're alternating the side that leads to stay balanced. Trying to keep the upper body nice and stable here. So notice I'm not rocking the shoulders forward and back. Trying to keep the hips relatively stable as well. And notice how that gets deep into your core. Nice, and we're gonna find a little hold at the end to challenge ourselves here. Continue on, breathing through it. Okay, we're gonna do 2 more rounds each side. And left foot back, right foot back, down and down. Here's our last set each side. And on your last high plank, you're gonna hold it. So holding it here, find that high plank and hold for 10, 9, breathe through it, 8, 7, notice if those shoulder blades are sinking, for 5, 4, 3, hold on here, for 2, and 1, and slowly drop the knees down. Woo. All right, bring the knees wide. We're gonna take a little child's pose to give our wrists and our shoulders a break. So go ahead and sit those hips back. Drop your forehead down to the mat. Reach your fingertips up. Find a nice stretch all along your spine. Stick your tailbone back. Take 2 rounds of breath here. And 1 more. Nice, and then slowly start to walk yourself back up. All right, we're not done yet. We are gonna use the ball now. So go ahead and grab your ball. And I want you to place that ball between your thighs, above your knees. And then immediately I want you to find a squeeze on that ball. So feel how your inner thighs ignite right away. And I want you to come back into your tabletop with that ball between your legs, with that squeeze of the ball, stacking your shoulders over your wrists, hips over your knees. You're gonna tuck your toes under, and we're gonna lift up into a bear. So you're gonna hover those knees 2 inches away from the mat, finding a neutral spine. Feel your core engage like crazy, and then tap your knees down. We exhale, lift, and inhale, tap. We're keeping a squeeze on the ball the whole time, really feeling our inner thighs engage, feeling our core engage. We're here for 8 and 7. Gentle bend in those elbows. 6, 5, working hard here for 4. Stick with it. For 3, for 2, find one more, squeeze that ball, and then slowly lower it down. Woo! All right, maybe give your wrists a few rolls out just to give them a break. Okay, we're gonna keep the ball exactly where it is. And I'm gonna come sideways here so you can see this a little bit better. Keeping that ball where it is, I want you to start to find your arms, your palms facing back, arms long by your side. And what we're gonna do in this move is we're gonna sit our hips back and we're gonna hinge forward with our upper body as we reach our arms out in front of us, biceps framing those ears, taking your gaze long in front of you so your neck is long, an extension of your spine. And pausing here for just a moment, I want you to keep a squeeze on that ball. So we're engaging through the inner thighs. We're relaxing through our shoulders, drawing them away from our ears. We're feeling our arms working hard here, drawing that belly button back towards your spine and finding a nice long spine from the crown of your head out through your tailbone. And as you exhale, you're gonna stand on up, pressing your palms back behind you, engaging through those triceps, keeping your core nice and tight and keeping the squeeze on the ball. Continuing on like that, we're gonna inhale, reach, and exhale, lift, and press those arms back. Nice, just like that, continuing on here. Gonna talk through a few things. If you find that, I should have said this at the beginning, but if you have sensitive knees, you can absolutely roll up your mat for extra padding or place a towel or a sweatshirt underneath your knees. If this is too much in the shoulders, too much pinching in the shoulders, bring them lower. You can bring them to shoulder height and then press those palms back. Do what works for you. You can try a few variations and see what works the best. Let's do 4. Breathing through it. And 3. And I love this one too because it is truly full body. 2. And 1 more. And then you're gonna hold it out. You're gonna sit those hips back, reach those arms out, hold it here. We're gonna keep the legs as is, so we're gonna hold the lower body still, and we're gonna bring the arms into a cactus. So we're just gonna focus on the arm movement here. You're gonna reach those arms forward, and then squeeze them back down, squeezing those elbows in. Exhale, reach. Inhale, draw those elbows down. Squeezing onto the ball the whole time, feeling your inner thighs engage, not letting that ball go. Okay, we've got 5 and 4. Feel that core working hard. 3, shoulders are feeling it too. And here's our last one. And you're gonna hold it right here, holding the legs as is. We have 1 more variation. You're now gonna bring your elbows in by your waist, squeezing your arms by your side, palms face up. You're gonna think about gluing the upper arms in space and just hinging from the elbows. So we're gonna take it into tricep kickbacks. Exhale, reach. Inhale, bend. So we're gonna extend and bend them in. And again, I want you to think about keeping those elbows at the exact same height. So we're not moving the upper arm at all. Breathing through it for 5. Squeezing that ball. 4, don't forget the squeeze. And 3, 2, and 1 more. And come all the way to stand. Whew. And you can take that ball out from beneath you and give your inner thighs a little break. We're gonna come down onto the mat now. And we're gonna take it into core. So you're gonna grab that ball, and I'm gonna come slightly sideways so you can see this a little bit better. You're gonna place the ball at your low back, right about where your pants line is, not so low so that it's at your tailbone. And you can play around with the ball placement, make sure it's nice and comfortable for you. Grab behind your thighs and then start to roll back, finding a C curve in your spine. So think about curving through that low spine and really pressing the spine into the ball, but feeling your core engage immediately. And you can place your hands at your low belly and feel your core start to engage. All right, from here, you're gonna reach your arms forward and you're just gonna take a little pulse back into the ball and exhale, lift away. Inhale, press back into the ball. Exhale, little lift away from the ball. And so this is a very small range of movement here. And we're feeling it deep into our core. Doesn't take much to feel it here. And we're not dumping all of our weight into the ball. It's just there for support. We're still largely supporting our own weight, which actually makes this a lot more challenging. Inhale as you roll it back. Exhale as you come forward. And we're never peeling fully away from the ball. We're just coming a little bit away from it as we lift up. So it's like you're applying a lot of pressure into the ball and then you're slightly relieving that pressure as you lift up. This might feel tight in your hip flexors. If that's you, you can butterfly your knees open, keeping your feet together, so keeping those heels glued together. And that should relieve some of the pressure you might be feeling, some of the tightness. All right, in 3 more, we're gonna change it up with the arms. In 2, in 1 more. On this next one, as you lift up, I want you to start to open up your arms out wide. They're still slightly in front of your shoulders. And then as you inhale, you're gonna close it back together. Exhale, open. Inhale, close. Nice, just like that. So this is gonna be a little bit more challenging for the core with our arms moving out to the side. A little more weight distribution. And our core is working a little bit harder to support that. Let's do 3. And 2. Breathing through it, and find 1 more. And close, and then slowly start to sit up. And we're gonna take a really quick seated cat-cow. So you can just stay where you are, keep the ball there, grab the outer edges of your shins, and inhale, find cow pose, lifting up through your chest, opening up through your chest, and then exhale, find seated cow. Hollow out through your belly, round through your spine, tuck your chin into your chest. 1 more round like that. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. Nice, all right, we have 1 more variation here. So you're gonna keep the ball where it is, and then you're gonna bring your hands to heart center. We're gonna take it into our obliques now. We're gonna take a little twist from side to side, but before we do that, I want you to find your form. So bring your hands to heart center, and again, finding that slight curve in your spine, pressing your low back into the ball, and opening through your chest, dropping your shoulders away from your ears. You're gonna exhale, twist open towards the left from your core, and allow your gaze to follow to deepen that twist. Inhale, coming back through center. Exhale, twist to the right. And continuing on just like that, making sure that this twist is really coming from your core and that we're not allowing our knees and our hips to come along for that ride. They're staying squared forward. And I like to think of my upper body as a towel, like I'm wringing out a very wet towel. That's the metaphor I have for you. Open mouth exhales as you twist open to the side. Let's do 3 more on each side. Here's 2. See if you can get deeper into that twist. Shakes are good here. Last 1. And 1. And come back through center and then lift yourself all the way up. Wow, nice job. Okay, we are not done with core yet, and I'm gonna come now onto this side of the mat to show you this move a little bit better. For this move, we're gonna come back down all the way onto our backs, and you're gonna bring your ball with you. You're gonna bring your knees into tabletop, and then you're gonna grab the ball with your right hand, reach your arm out at about a 45-degree angle, and then you're gonna just drop the ball down. And that's where you want to place that ball. And you want to make sure your palm fits right over the ball, that you can still reach it. And with your knees, I want you to make sure they're stacked over your hips and that your shins are parallel to the mat. If you find that your low back is feeling a kind of a pinch with your shins parallel, just bring the toes a little bit higher and find a little roof shape with your legs. All right, find what works for you, and then when you're ready, bring your left hand behind your head, supporting the lower part of your head here. Take an inhale. As you exhale, you're gonna find an upper ab curl, lifting your shoulders and your head and neck away from the mat, taking your gaze up towards the ceiling, and you're gonna press down into the ball. Inhale as you lower down. Exhale, lift, squeeze that ball, and then slowly lower it down. Now I'm gonna talk through a few things, and you might already feel it immediately, that when you squeeze on that ball, you feel a little shake in your belly happening, and you're gonna feel your lats working, and your arm working, and that's all normal. And I like to add that squeeze because it just adds a little something extra to this move. It helps us get deeper into the abdominal muscles. And you can try, as an experiment, lifting up without the squeeze. See how that feels. And then try it with the squeeze and notice what feels different to you. And it should feel that you're getting much deeper into the core. All right, let's do 3 more here. And then we're gonna add on with our legs. Here's 2. Breathing through it. Open mouth exhales as you lift up. Here's our last one. And this next time as you lift up, I want you to add an extension of your left leg. So you're gonna lift, extending that left leg to hover over the mat, still pressing down onto that ball. And then come back. Exhale, lift, squeezing that ball. Inhale as you lower it down. If at any point the squeeze of the ball is too much, you can absolutely do without. Maybe do it every other rep. All right, we have 5. And these are really intense, so stick with it, stay strong here. 4. But I love it because it helps us get so deep into the core. It really helps us develop those deep abdominal muscles. Here's 2. And here's our last one. Hold it just for a second, and then bring it down. Hug your knees into your chest to give them a squeeze. And then we're getting straight to the other side. So go ahead, I'm actually gonna flip over so you guys can see this a little bit better. So we're gonna come back down onto our backs, bringing our knees into tabletop. And then again, grabbing that ball with your left hand at about a 45-degree angle. You're gonna drop that ball right in front of you. Make sure you can place the palm on the ball. You're gonna bring your right hand behind your head for support. Make sure your knees stack over the hips, and then from here, take an inhale. And exhale, start to find that upper ab curl, lifting head, neck, and shoulders, pressing down onto that ball. Taking your gaze forward. Lifting your chin away from your chest. Nice, and keep on going just like that. Feeling this in your left lats this time. Let's do 4 more here. And then we're gonna add on with the leg extension. Here's 3. And 2. And find 1 more. And on this next one, we're gonna add the extension of our right leg. So it's gonna hover over the mat, pointing through our toes here, squeezing down on that ball. Continuing on just like that. Beautiful job, stick with it. And again, you can take the squeeze of the ball out if it's just too much. Let's do 4 more here. Keeping those hips squared forward. Here's 2. And find your last one. And bring your knees into your chest. Give them a little squeeze. All right, nice job. Okay, we're gonna take the ball now, and I'm gonna come back onto this side of my mat and show you guys this move. We're gonna place the ball this time underneath our tailbone. So you're gonna lift up into a little bridge and roll that ball right underneath your tailbone, tailbone and low back area. Find a place that feels comfortable and stable for you. That's key. Make sure it feels stable. And place both feet on the mat. Make sure you feel nice and even. So make sure the ball is centered. When you're ready, from there, you're gonna lift one leg up and then lift the other leg up. So we're really supported by that ball now. Arms are long by our side, palms are facing down. I want you to just find that neutral spine, so try not to tuck through the tailbone. And keep your rib cage nice and tight. Feel your belly engaged. And from here, we're gonna take it into toe dips. So you're gonna start to dip the right toes down. They might not come all the way down to the mat. You just wanna get to a place where you feel like you still are really using your core to engage here, and you're not finding a pinch in your low back. And then you're gonna exhale, lift that leg back up. And then inhale, dip the left toes down. Exhale, lifting it back up. And so now we're getting deep into our lower abdominal muscles. It might take a few reps for you to start to feel that. I love having the ball underneath my tailbone because it adds extra, gives me extra space, more room to move, helps us get deeper into our core here, finding a greater range of movement. And again, find a range of movement that works for you today. Be honest with yourself here. Take what you need. And you can experiment, see what works for you. And I'm really starting to feel it in my lower abs now, so hopefully you guys are feeling that too. Let's do 4 more on each side here. Try to keep those shoulder blades glued down to the mat and chest nice and open. And really using those breaths to help you get deeper. Exhaling as you lift up. Let's do 2 more rounds. And 1 more round here. Nice. And then go ahead and place both feet on the mat before you lift the ball, before you roll the ball out from underneath. And roll your spine all the way down. Okay, we have 1 more move in core, and then we're gonna get to some back work. All right, you're gonna find a tabletop again with your legs. And then this time, I want you to bring your knees together. So you're zipping up your legs into one line, finding tabletop here. You're gonna bring that ball to your knees, placing them on top of your thighs. And we're basically going to find a dead bugs variation. So what you're gonna do, I want you to place the left palm on the ball, and you're going to extend opposite arm and leg from each other. So we'll start with our right arm and our left leg. Keeping your head down here, you're going to extend that right arm overhead, extend the left toes out, and I want you to think about pressing the ball with your left hand as you press back into the ball with your right knee. So finding that opposition, that isometric hold, and that shake in your belly. All right, you're gonna come back through center, and then you're gonna switch, placing your right palm on the ball, extending left arm and right leg. That right leg's hovering over the mat, and again, finding that isometric hold, pushing the ball with your hand and pressing into the ball with your knee. So it doesn't look like we're doing much, but I guarantee you are feeling it. I definitely am. I'm feeling the shakes big time. All right, continuing on like that, breathing through it. And I love this so much because it's so effective and helps us get very deep into the core. And really doesn't look like much is happening, but I know you guys are feeling it. Nice, and keep on going just like that. Let's do 2 more rounds on each side here. Here's 2. And 2. Moving nice and slow here. Here's 1. And our last one. And then bring everything in. Now hold here. We're gonna find one last hold. You're gonna press the ball into your knees and the knees back into the ball. You're gonna lift your head, neck, and shoulders up, keeping your gaze up towards the ceiling. We're here for 10, 9, press harder here for 8, 7, 6, 5, stick with it for 4, 3, 2, and 1, and slowly lower it down. Whew. All right, bring your knees into your chest. We are all done with core. And that one was really good. I love that move. It gets so deep into the core. I feel like a lot of the moves we did today get very deep into the core. All right, from here, you're just gonna flip over like a pancake. And we're gonna get into some work on our back. You can place the ball off to the side. We will still use it, but just a little bit later. All right, from here, I want you to come onto your belly, and I want you to bring your feet about hips width distance apart, gluing the tops of your feet down And then bringing your arms into a cactus position, bringing your forehead down here. And you're gonna start to lift your right arm up and your left leg up. So opposite arm and leg. Inhaling as you lift up. And then exhale, slowly lowering it back down. And then switch, left arm, right leg. Lift, peeling that chest up, keeping your gaze forward. You want your neck to be nice and long, so avoid looking up. And then lowering it back down and feeling how we're working our back muscles here, the whole back line of our body. We often don't work out this part of our body. A lot of those muscles get kind of neglected. I know that's true for me at least. Breathing through here. Okay, let's do 3 more on each side. And then we're gonna find a little hold. Here's 2. And 2. And I'm definitely starting to feel it in the hamstrings as well. And 1. And 1. And then lower everything down. And now we're gonna lift up our both hands, both arms, and both legs at the same time. Lifting everything up here, holding for a second. And then just start to swim the legs. Swimming the legs here for 10. 9. Can you lift a little bit higher with that chest? For 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. And lower everything down. Nice job, guys. And then now we're gonna grab the ball. You're gonna place it out in front of you. So directly out in front of you, make sure it's nice and centered. Place both palms on the ball. And then bring your forehead down to the mat again. And then as you inhale, you're gonna start to roll that ball in with your palms, keeping a micro bend in your elbows, protecting your joints, and lifting up through your chest, finding upward facing dog with that chest. And then exhale, slowly start to come back down, dropping your forehead down towards the mat. And inhale, rolling it back in, lifting up through the chest. And I love how much extra room the ball gives you to move with. So we're finding a lot of extra mobility here, extra range of movement with the ball. Should feel really great in the front line of your body. Nice big stretch here. All right, let's do 3 more. Keeping those legs nice and heavy on the mat. And 2. Finding your last one. And slowly lower it back down. All right, nice job. And then we're gonna flip over again like a pancake. And we're gonna just take it into some stretches. So you're gonna place that ball between your shoulder blades and then slowly roll down onto that ball. And I want you to bring your feet into a butterfly position. So the soles of your feet to touch, butterfly your knees open wide. And then I just want you to rest over that ball, dropping your head down, heavy. And you can open up your arms into a cactus or into a T, whatever feels good to you. And just take a moment here to open up through your chest, the entire front line of your body. And we're getting our inner thighs too. We did some inner thigh work, so hopefully this feels good for you. And just breathing into it, a few deep belly breaths here. Inhale and exhale. One more inhale and exhale. And then slowly start to place your feet onto the mat. Lift the ball away from underneath your back. You can bring it off to the side. We won't need it anymore. And just come all the way down onto your back, squeezing your knees into your chest. And then we're gonna take a little supine twist. You're gonna drop both knees over towards the left. Bring your arms out to a T. And you're gonna gaze over that right shoulder. If you'd like to get a little bit deeper, you can absolutely place your left hand on the outside of your right thigh and encourage a slightly deeper twist. Breathing here. One more breath. And then you're slowly gonna come back through center, bringing both knees over towards the right. And then you're going to gaze over towards the left. And again, to get deeper, if you'd like, you can place your right hand gently across your left thigh. Just encourage a slightly deeper stretch and twist. One more breath here. And then slowly start to roll your knees back into center, giving them another hug. And we're almost done. We're going to take a seat on our ball and find a little seated cat-cow, one of my favorites. I love using the ball. It's so helpful, and it helps you get deeper into everything, including your stretches. All right, you can take a seat on your ball. If you don't like how this feels, you can totally just sit on your heels as well. You can bring your arms out to the side, palms facing back. You're going to inhale, opening up through your chest, finding a nice big stretch. And then exhale, start to round through your spine, reaching your arms forward, tucking your chin to your chest, rounding through your spine, hollowing out your belly. 2 more rounds. Inhale, cow. And exhale, find cat. And we have 1 more round here. Inhale, cow. And exhale, find cat. And then slowly start to roll yourself up. You can take the ball out from underneath, take a seat here, and we are all done with class. Thank you guys so much for joining. I hope you enjoyed that beginner level class. I'd love feedback or questions that you might have. If you have any, please leave them in the comments. If you liked what you saw and you want to continue to see more videos, I try to drop them every week. So please subscribe to my channel. And otherwise, thank you so much for joining.